Hi, how you all doing? Welcome back to Where Canaries Walk. It's 20 minutes of Norwich chat. If you're just finding the channel, thank you for joining us. It's episode 25, and on this week's chat, we are talking about Crnac. Fans are calling him lazy and are now fed up of him. Or is that too harsh? He's still young, don't forget, and only came to the country this year. What's your view on that? We're also talking about Lucien Pahavo. AI is predicting the rest of Norwich's away fixtures. Hasn't been good so far. Is it going to get any better? And stay tuned to the end of the video because, of course, we are picking our worst ever Norwich 11 in this month. Last week, poor old George Long got put in goal by this horrible lot as the worst ever Norwich goalkeeper. This week, we're asking them to pick our strikers. So we've got Matty, Jacob, and Killian back with us. Thank you very much, Rogers. And due to popular demand, Oliver's back with us as well. How are you, Oliver?
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, unfortunate to miss the last 2 weeks, but now I'm back and ready to go as ever. So
yeah,
let's go.
Oliver, the Oliver fan club can rejoice. Not much to celebrate though this week. Our Sheffield United fans put it like this: one of the worst teams to come to Bramall Lane all season. 97 minutes of football, and they couldn't have a shot on target. Matty, was it as bad as they point out?
Well, it wasn't great, was it? Let's be honest. I'm just looking for on my other laptop. I've seen that you've mentioned, and I'm just looking for a counter argument for it from a Sheffield United fan that I saw last night on the train home. But I can't seem to scroll through my likes on Twitter and find it. Oh, here we are. Quick note on Norwich. Thought their tactics were spot on. If you can get it to click in the final third, then there'll be a real threat. Clearly missed some key players today. If they get some quality in over summer, they'll be right up there next season. Which I think is quite a fair assessment, to be honest. I thought first half we were okay. We weren't brilliant. We weren't disastrous. Second half, we didn't offer a great deal. And as you mentioned, not having a shot on target, it's not ideal. I think for the first time, I'm critical of Hoftorp with his selection. And it's always going to be tough to go to Bramall Lane, second in the league. They went top of that win, obviously, before Leeds' win. So, I don't really know what fans expected, to be honest. And that's you're going to get that from Sheffield United fans, aren't you? You're fair game, aren't you, after 2-0 defeat without a shot on target?
Yeah, absolutely. Rob says, some of the comments on here are really annoying. Honestly, with the injuries, what did you expect? We take the positives from the youngsters, do the same midweek and move on. I believe in the project. This next season will hopefully get the rewards. Oliver, do you agree with that? Or are you and the other half of the fan base? And the other half of the fan base is saying, I'm sick of hearing about this project. Projects move forward. We aren't doing that.
No, I do see where that comment's coming from, and I still am on the side of obviously us being a project, but I do understand the other half who are kind of getting sick and tired now because it does kind of seem to be up and down, sort of lack of consistency, really. And I suppose you just want to see a fight from the players as anything, and maybe some fans feel like they haven't been seeing that too much. But look, I mean, obviously this is a team who we played against who are fighting for Premier League. You know, they're a couple stations above us, so to only lose 2-0 with the squad we have, like it isn't dreadful, but I can see why there's sort of some frustration there.
It's a real split at the moment, Jacob, in the fan base. Here's two similar kind of tweets. Leo says, unlike half our fan base, it seems, I believe in projects and think this could be one day be a Premier League team. However, we've heard after every loss that the other team was better because of things, but we never see much improvement. For a project, you need to see differences. Terry says, not a single shot on target. The squad is awful. The transfers are awful. The management is awful. And the worst thing is, there are Norwich fans who are content with these times. Fans should not be okay with these performances. Who cares if it's a transition season? It is not good enough. Right, Jacob, which side of the fence are you on?
Probably the first tweet. The second tweet is really harsh, I'd say. It is a project. We have to stick by it. It's not going to be easy first season, just like Farker. I've said it many times, but yeah, I think it's not going to be easy to adjust with this whole new squad, and the signings have been good. I think they've all been young, showing potential. Lewis Dobbin doing really well. Hopefully, Mate Jurasek turns into a good player when he comes in February. So yeah, probably the first person I'm going to agree with.
Is Lewis Dobbin doing really well? Because of all the names after Crnac, his name, Jacob, seemed to pop up the most of the fans' annoyance?
Well, he looked promising, to be fair, with his crosses and running down the wing, and then Coventry as well. He was all right, so give him time to click with the team.
Okay. Killian, we're going to come on to Crnac. I know we've discussed on here before, but I think people before now were happy to give him some time. It seems like that patience has run out for a large number of fans. Woodsy says, "You'll never score with that starting lineup. We have no goal scorer in the side. Crnac is a terrible option. Bringing Schwartu on to try and salvage a game is useless." Oh, well, on to the next. What's your view on Crnac?
I've mixed views on him. I think he's a strong lad. He does obviously need confidence, but I think he's held off players quite well. I was a little with Matty here on the lineup yesterday. I thought it was a little bit strange. For me, like the wingers were trying to run up the wing and cross the ball, and we had Hernandez in the middle, who's fast player, great, but he's a small lad. Whereas I think if we'd had Crnac in the middle and we were told he was a centre forward when we signed him, we had him out in the wing, and Hernandez, who's more of a winger, out in the middle. So for me, the lineup didn't show him in the best light yesterday. I don't think anybody was particularly. Maybe some of the young lads at the end were particularly good, but I do think we need to give him a bit more time, and I'd love to see him a bit more with Sarge up front to see how the two of them play off each other.
What about this accusation, Killian, that he's lazy?
I don't know. I mean, I've seen him chase back quite a bit. One thing I've noticed about him is like he's a very languid type style, so he doesn't look like he's moving, but he's got a fair bit of pace. So I think, he's a young lad. I think a bit more coaching. Obviously, it takes time to get used to Torrup's style and the way he wants to play. I think he'll come good.
Okay. We don't like calling players out on home at him. We're certainly not doing that. We're just heralding or going through what fans are talking about. But Oliver's point here needs looking at, if that's all right. Oliver says Crnac hasn't worked out at all. It's all well and good in being young, but ultimately we've wasted our IDA money on a lad who looks miles off it for the level. The game's passing by. He's just so slow in his speed of thought, and he struggles to offer any threat. The other comments here are what Killian was saying, that the manager hasn't helped him out at all and actually needs to be played in the right positions. Thurop obviously feels Crnac is better out wide right than O'Neill. Give us your views. The point of view is that he's not good enough for this level. He's a nice lad. He's young, but he's not championship level. Do you agree now, halfway through the season?
No, I don't buy it at all. I think it's fickle fans, to be honest with you. I don't want to be too negative about things, but I think it's ridiculous. He's a young lad who's come to the country. He's played a handful of games, more often than not out of position. Those comments are ridiculous. Like if you compare the grievances that fans had with Sargent when he first joined, he was playing second fiddle to Pookie. He was playing through the middle. Sargent was playing out wide. It wasn't his natural position, and 18 months down the line, he was banging goals in for fun when he was playing his natural position. It's the exact same as Crnac. He's a number 9. He's a big lad. He's 6'2", whatever he is. As Killian says, he's pacey, he's strong, he's quick. He's been played out wide. He's been playing the wrong position. And as I said at the top of this, like I really believe in the project and I will defend Hoff Torrup, but he got it wrong yesterday. It should be O'Neill through. It should be Crnac through the middle and O'Neill out wide. And I think those that are just jumping on Crnac, it's like, who can we blame? Who can we jump on? Who's the scapegoat? Previously, we've rightly so, I think, blamed George Long when he's played. I wasn't going to go. I said this to myself. I was going to go the whole episode without mentioning his name. Well, previously there's been fair criticism and there's been a mix of that and scapegoating. But to put that on Crnac yesterday or to kind of slag him off, I think is ridiculous because we didn't play to his strengths. We played him out of his position. And we had someone who's really just I wouldn't even say he's a super sub. He's a bench player who comes off the bench in Hernandez, starting up front as a number 9. I think Hoff Torrup got it dreadfully wrong. Okay.
All right. Thank you for that. Let's go on to some other more positive news then. Oliver, first team debut at Bramall Lane for Lucien Mahovo. Hopefully I've said that right. Correct me if I haven't. Force and Lover says Mahovo was super composed and comfortable on and off the ball. Scouting department have done well once again, having signed him from Notts County's under-21s. Think he's a clear option at left back, even as a starter. if needed. Good to see Miles get some minutes too. And Sugar Cube there says, like the look of Mahovo. Do you like the look of Mahovo?
I don't honestly know a lot about him, to be honest, but glimpses of him look quite promising, to be fair. Sort of looks quite sharp, sort of more attacking-minded fullback, I guess he is. But yeah, look, I think he's still obviously a bit young, a bit fresh. Wouldn't really be considering starting him at all, honestly. And maybe he needs a loan, but he's definitely one for the future, perhaps, that we could look into, yeah.
Jacob, would you consider starting him? And not against Leeds, of course, but the weekend?
No, not at this point. I think we keep with what we've got because we've rotated our defensive line too much this season. So maybe next season, let him break through like Fisher did, but not at the moment, no.
Okay. Killian?
No, I think he looked good yesterday. He came on, did a good shift, and I think obviously he was up for it, which I think was one of the downside of all the injuries. Obviously, the upside was that we had a couple of young lads who were gunning to go, and I think he did well, but I don't think he's ready for a start yet. Okay.
All right, then we'll leave that game aside. Busy week then for Norwich. We'll say we're recording this before the Leeds game, but the Swansea game at home on Saturday should, Matty, give you an opportunity to get your season going again a little bit. Swansea are in disarray at the moment and could have sacked the manager by the time you play them. 3 points this one?
Yeah, I think if you look at our home fixtures, I know this might sound a bit out there, but by and large, I think we should be winning most of our, from sort of February onwards, or once we get this game out of the way, should be winning most of our home games, I would think. They're off the back of that, obviously, that Welsh derby defeat. Like you say, there's a bit of jeopardy where the manager's concerned. So, if ever there's a time to win a game 4-5-0, it's definitely this one, irrespective of what happens, against Leeds. So, get Sargent. It might be, by the time we get to Saturday, he might be in a position to start, which I wouldn't be opposed to. And yeah, I think it's probably needed. We seem to get to these sort of games maybe every 6 weeks or so. It's like we need something, because the fans, as we've seen from the social media reactions, the fans seem to be a little bit disenfranchised every now and again, and the short-sighted fans seem to lose faith in Hoftorp and the project. So we could do much like the what was the 6-2? Was it Portsmouth? I can't remember who we beat sort of in November time. There was a couple of decent results on the bounce. It feels like this Swansea game is one of those that's needed, I think.
Okay. All right, then let's leave that there. We did ask AI last week, if you remember, to forecast all those home games that you've just talked about there, Matty. We asked it this week to forecast the results of all the away games and see how many points it would come up with. Let's have a look at what it said. It wasn't great. It predicted that you would win 3 more away from home in Hull, Plymouth, and Millwall. It said you would draw Blackburn and Middlesbrough, but then lose to Leeds, Watford, Bristol City, and Burnley. So 11 points to come on the road. Killian, as you go to most of these, would you take that right now?
Yeah, I haven't been massively impressed with our away form this season, so I think any game is hard to gauge. I would think that I've seen us do well at Watford, so maybe that's one that we could win. But like if you look at Plymouth last season, which we're obviously really expecting to destroy them and got destroyed, you can never really tell. But yeah, I think it's probably about right based on what I've seen this season.
Okay. What about you, Jacob? Would you take 11 points?
Yeah, it's looks really realistic considering we've only won 5 away games this season, and the games that we've said that we're going to win or draw, we've already beat them or drawn the teams that are displayed on there. So yeah, 11 points is highly probable.
Okay. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. There seems to be a lot of anger around the club at the moment. I'm not sure where it's coming from. Can anyone of the 4 of you explain why obviously I trawl through every single club, and it seems every time there's a loss, there's I say there's an overreaction to it, but there does seem to be a growing number of fans which are getting frustrated and just want this instant success. Is it a Norwich problem, do any of you think, or is it just the new age football fan problem?
It's more of the latter, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it happens at Sunderland as well, but that's happens. It's happening more at Norwich too. Let us know what you think about all of that. Finally, then we are picking the worst Norwich 11 this month, because of course it is the. I know some of you would want to put the current team in there if we let you. We've already got one of them in there, so we're not having any more. Last week, against advice, the team put George Long in there. Would it surprise you to know that in the whole podcast they also put George Long as their worst ever goalkeeper as well? So he actually features in 2, which is poor old George. We're looking for strikers though. 2 of the worst strikers that you've seen play for Norwich. Ollie, kick us off with this. Give us one.
I honestly thought Josip Drmić was quite poor watching him. I remember, just apart from that goal at Spurs, I think he was pretty dreadful. So I'll nominate his name forward.
Okay, Jacob.
I'm gonna say the 8.5 million signing, Ricky van Wolfswinkel. He scored in the debut against Everton. Everyone knows I'm going to say this, but yeah, he was dreadful the next 20 games after that. So yeah, Ricky van Wolfswinkel, and I will agree on Josip Drmić.
Killian, you must have a few names for us here.
Yeah, there's a couple of them. Just people like Beccio, I can without his channel. But I think I would have, like the 2 I picked to mention, Van Wolfswinkel is one of them. And I'd stick to the Van team. I think Sidney Van Hooydonk was disappointing last season, especially when you look at what his dad Pierre achieved. I think there was a lot of hype built up about him, and it just didn't work for him.
Yeah. All good shouts, these. Matty?
Van Hooydonk's a good shout. Van Wolfswinkel, I don't buy it with Van Wolfswinkel. I think he was the right signing with the wrong manager or the wrong system. I think he would have, under a different manager, I think he would have been good. Adamida was, sorry, Killian, I'm sorry, but the national connection there, but I don't want to slag him off too much. But Adamida was disappointing because I think it was more because he should have probably gone out on loan. But he never looked like an intelligent footballer. And I've seen Celtic fans tweeting saying, "How the hell that we got all that money for him." I think Drmić is a great shout. I would probably go one of them, and Chris Brown. I think we got from Sunderland back in the day, who averaged something stupid like a goal every 6 games in his whole total career as a striker. So I'm going to shot Chris Brown in there because he was absolutely woeful. And yeah, probably Drmić is fair because he was a bit disappointing as well, wasn't he? So we've had some shockers over the years, haven't we? It's rattling those names off there. There's a few ghosts of Christmas past, isn't there?
Yeah. How much money as well, and you think how many millions have been spent on some of these players. It's scandalous. Right, let us know in the comments if we've missed any. You know what to do, and drop us a subscribe. Help us get closer to those 100 subscribers. That would be absolutely massive. Right, you 4 enjoy the game against Swansea. Any of you travelling up? Oh no, it's not. Is it? It's not at Leeds, is it? Oh, it is at Leeds. Anyone going to Leeds? All giving that a miss.
I say, Killian, are you there, or are you not making that trip?
I can't make it of work commitments, so
yeah, I'm the same.
Okay, all right. If you're going to Leeds on a cold Wednesday night, credit to you. Let us know in the comments how you get on. We'll see you in 7 days' time when we're looking for the worst ever defenders that Norwich have had. Again, you're not allowed to put current players in there as much as we want to. See you in 7 days' time. Have a good week, everyone.